They don't make many mistakes. They have few penalties. They play perfect. Going against Bill Belichick, this is, it's somebody who I have much respect for. Probably talked to him before and after the game. He tells me the same thing every time. He's like, I hope you enjoy today because it's not going to be much for you. And that's what he's told me, and that's what he does every single time. It's just tough. He's going to coach it up, and they're going to be ready and prepared. They're undefeated for a reason. They win Super Bowl pretty much every year for a reason. That's what it is.
That's just a small slice of 13 minutes yesterday from Odell Beckham Jr. meeting with reporters. And I'd say from that 13 minutes, Chris, there was probably 3 or 4 minutes where he praises the Patriots, talks about the Patriots, talks about playing for the Patriots. At least that was something he wanted to do in the past. And it reminded me a little bit of a post-game press conference from Randy Moss when he was playing for the Vikings the second time around. They lost to the Patriots in Foxborough. Moss laid it on thick about the Patriots, and the Vikings cut him the next day. Not that the Browns are going to do that, but if you watch and listen to the full 13 minutes and you pay attention to how many times it comes up and the praise, and it's very nonchalant by Beckham, like he doesn't realize it could be a problem by being that lavish in your praise because you have a head coach, you have a quarterback who may be listening to this saying, man, maybe he wants to play in New England. But I came away from the 13 minutes thinking maybe this guy wants to play in New England.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think there's a great respect there. Of course, there's a lot of players that have that type of respect for New England, and especially, on a Wednesday where he's probably already watched some film and got the game plan, and he's watching what they're doing, and he's going, damn. I haven't seen teams do this, and, well, they're doing some crazy stuff. So, it's even more on your mind in that aspect. But I think there's been, as I've reported and said, what was that, last spring or whatever? I think there was always mutual interest from both sides that maybe one day this could happen. I was led to believe that, as you know. And so I think there is affection where the Patriots have an ultimate respect for Odell Beckham Jr., and if they could have acquired him via trade, they would have tried to, and I think Odell Beckham Jr. is kind of letting us know that he would have loved for that to have happened as well. And I think that's where this discussion comes. Yeah.
It's not just would have loved it to happen. I think that embedded within everything he said yesterday is the unmistakable whiff that he would still like it to happen in the future, especially if the Cleveland experiment continues on its current path of 2-4 through 6 games and 2-5, staring them in the face because they play the Patriots in Foxborough on Sunday. And let's continue that conversation on the other side of these comments from Beckham yesterday, talking about his desire, at least in the past, if not in the future, to play for the Patriots. Here he is.
I think 2-3 years ago there was the whole speculations and all that was going on, and I was willing and ready to go over there at any point in time. And that was always a dream of mine to play for Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady and Belichick. But for me, when I said I wanted to be a part of, I wanted to turn this into the Patriots organization. And it's about winning, but it's about the way that they go about it and how everything is precise and everything it's perfect. It feels good to win. It feels good to succeed. And that's what I meant by wanting to be like them. I don't know how to be like them because I've never been over there. I've never experienced any of it. But Tom and I talked, for 2-3 years, hey man, if it happens, it happens.
Okay, so here's the thing. How long does he have to be in Cleveland to realize that what we have here isn't what they have there? Yeah. And I'd still kind of like to be there because this ain't there.
Well,
right?
Yeah, well, you're right. He doesn't have to be in Cleveland very long to realize that. There's nothing that can compare to there, and there being the New England Patriots. They're on another level from the rest of the NFL in all phases of their organization. They are the standard in every way. And I think just with those comments there, yeah, that tells you there was some flirting going on between the Patriots and Odell Beckham Jr. And we know just from this year especially, the Patriots are not scared of personalities and trying to bring them in and make it work and whatever else. But, at the end of the day, guys who really love the sport and that are really into doing the things that it takes to win and all that, you're going to respect the Patriots to a degree. And, of course, everybody wants to play for them to a degree as well. It's like the Yankees, when they're in their prime. Everybody wants to be on that stage stage all the time. And New England is the stage right now, and all the primetime games. And then the stage of, oh, it's the playoffs, and that's Patriot time. And then it's the Super Bowl, and that's Patriot time as well. And those are the moments players live for, and that's why guys like Odell Beckham Jr. have a lot of affection for the franchise in general.
And remember, he made a stir back in May when comments emerged from an interview with GQ where he said he wants to make the Browns into the new Patriots.
Yes.
And that created a couple of days worth of conversation and criticism and scrutiny. And, I want to win multiple championships here in Cleveland. And the thing is, at some point, he's going to realize it's just not going to happen, right? And he gets frustrated very easily. He surely didn't expect the Browns to be 2-4. He's not doing as much as he thought he was going to do. He's not getting the ball the way he thought he was going to get the ball. And even though he doesn't, when he says, I don't know what it takes to be like them.
Yeah, right.
That tells me he's yet to experience anything, Chris, that in his heart and in his mind reminds him of New England. And yes, as you said, no one else is New England. But if this is what he wants, I can't imagine that there weren't members of the Browns organization, whether it was Coach Freddie Kitchens, quarterback Baker Mayfield, ownership, GM, whoever, who listened to those comments yesterday and said, I don't think this guy really wants to be here.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I just think they're going to come away going, man, he's got a lot of respect and loves the Patriots. I wonder if there was more to that relationship than maybe we all realize, which I think we all realize that there was more to that relationship. But to like what you're saying, again, players say, oh, I'd love to go there, be there. You got to be there to experience it. It's a different place, and that's why they are New England too. A lot of guys don't know what they don't know until you go up there and get a taste of it, and it's not always for everybody because, personalities are not always welcome there if you cross the line, I should say. There's personalities up there, but you also got to have a little blend of like, no, you're a cog in a bigger picture of the Patriot machine here. That's very important, and you got to check your ego at the door from that aspect too, let alone, hey, they're going to coach you and ride you hard and hold you accountable every day, and it doesn't matter who it is. That's the Patriot way. The Patriot way is on April 27th, they prepare just the same as they do on January 23rd, getting ready for the AFC Championship game. That's what's brilliant about the Patriots, and that's really where they win a lot of their competitions versus the rest of the NFL. It's already in the books before they even play a lot of these teams.
I think back to 2010 when Randy Moss was becoming kind of a problem in New England, so they dumped him onto the Vikings for a third-round pick before it really became an issue. 3 weeks later, Moss goes back to New England and gets a taste of what he has walked away from or what he was traded away from, and that's when he made his comments after the game, and that's when the Vikings cut him loose. I mention that again because it's one thing for Beckham to muse about what New England is like as he gets ready to play them, but he's going to go there and he's going to, what's he going to say after the game about the Patriots? I just think this bears watching. The trade window is still open.
Yep.
I don't think the Browns would let him go at this point. I think they would at least want the package that they got for him in the first place so they can say we are where we would have been even if we'd never acquired him. But, man, we've seen crazier things happen. And wouldn't it be crazy if next Tuesday afternoon Odell Beckham Jr. ends up being traded to the Patriots?
Well, it would be crazy. I don't think there's any way that it happens. I still think the Browns are trying to build something here for the future. And everybody's scared to send people like Odell Beckham Jr. to the Patriots anyways or do business with the Patriots because you'd be scared that it's all going to get thrown in your face and all of a sudden he's going to lead the NFL in receiving and touchdowns, and then it makes your organization look worse from that standpoint too. But hey, there's something special about New England. There's just no denying that. They haven't lucked into 19 years of dominance here. It's details, it's preparation, it's situational football expertise. And, to speak to your Randy Moss thing and that whole year in 2010, I was with Randy Moss after he got cut from that Minnesota team for that second time around because then he signed with the Tennessee Titans. We had many conversations on the sidelines during practice of him gushing about New England, and even at the time going like, this isn't the way New England does things here. And I wanted to be like, yeah, I mean, I know I played for Josh McDaniels. I hadn't been in New England at that point, but I realized it just through my years of my dad talking about it and everything like that. And yeah, Randy Moss, I think he got addicted to the professionalism, the detail, and the desire to win that makes it so great up in New England as well.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.